Christmas Connections is currently one of my favourite Hallmark Christmas films, and that's because it's something a little bit different. And I think for me, it centres around our protagonist, Sydney. So I'll talk a little bit about the plot, but I won't go into any specific details, so I won't spoil it. This was released in 2017 and is directed by Stephen R. Monroe and written by Andrea Stevens and Gregg Rossen. And the plot from IMDb is as follows. Flight attendant Sydney is tasked with looking after Leah, an 8-year-old unaccompanied minor flying back to Chicago, flying back to Chicago after visiting family. Sydney is charmed by the little girl and makes an instant connection with her. After Leah is safely delivered to her father, Sydney finds a package Leah left behind. And the plot goes on, and I think it might spoil a bit, so I'm not going to carry reading on from here. But basically, Sydney misses her connection because she's been waiting with the unaccompanied minor, and because Leah left a parcel behind when her luggage opened, Sydney has a reason to go to their family home, which itself is a little bit creepy, and the fact that the flight attendant can just get that person's address is a little bit odd, but I'm sure there are valid reasons for why that's allowed. But that's why I like it. It's really lovely. The fact that Sydney is a flight attendant is different to every other Hallmark film that I've seen. That's not to say that there aren't other flight attendants in Hallmark films, but of the ones I've seen, which is about 20 now, I think Sydney as a character is just very different to all of the rest. She's not looking for a relationship. She's not looking for love. She's a free spirit. She enjoys traveling the world and seeing all these different places. And as a fan of travel, I thoroughly enjoy that aspect where she's talking about all of these different things, these different places she's visited and the things she's seen, and how she goes away for Christmas every year instead of having a traditional Christmas. And to be honest, I love that idea of going away to a different country every Christmas. So for me, definitely the driving force is Sydney, played by Brooke Burns. I love her. I thought her performance was great. She's not a cliche. She's not this hopeless romantic spending Christmas alone and meets a man she's never met before. And the encounter, of course, is very different as well because it happens in an airport. I will say it's a little bit unrealistic. I can't really say too much about the narrative, but obviously it's a Hallmark Christmas film. Woman meets man. Woman is single, man is single. You get the picture. But it happens very quickly. The entire thing takes place over really a couple of days, and the way the characters behave towards the end, I think, is very unrealistic. But I think with a Christmas film, you need to often suspend disbelief and just believe in the magic and enjoy the happiness that the characters are feeling. The subplot to this is, for me, doesn't carry the emotion that I feel like the film was trying to give it. Sydney's parents met in Chicago, where the film is set, and she didn't know how they met, and they're no longer on Earth. So, because Jonathan is a journalist, a reporter, he uses his skills and contacts to see if he can help Sydney find out how her parents met. And that obviously sounds quite sentimental, but I don't think it really carried any weight. It gave their growing relationship meaning. So it wasn't just a random person who met in the airport and suddenly they begin to spend more time together. It actually gave it a reason. So I do think that although it happened too quickly, there was at least some reason behind it for that level of development and their interactions. Leah is a lovely child. She's fun and got a lot of energy. She's played by Sophie Neudorf, who I don't believe I've seen in anything else, but she has been in at least one other film, Love in Harmony Valley, which was out this year. So I may have to check that out. She's a lovely little actress, and the character herself adds a lot of childhood innocence, which I love in a Christmas film because it really just helps to recapture the magic of being a child again and enjoying Christmas. I have no complaints about this film. The soundtrack is lovely. It's It's absolutely gorgeous. I think the character of Sydney is brilliant. I love her personality. I love her as a character. For me, I tend to usually have to like the protagonist in order to follow the narrative, at least when it's not really a juicy narrative. Because it's not. It's a light and fluffy, magical Hallmark Christmas film. It's not the most complicated film in the world. But nevertheless, I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're looking for a Christmas film that's still very Christmassy, there's a lot of snow, it does have a lot of Christmas magic, but that isn't, well, I'm not going to say it's overly cliche. There are cliches in this, and it's not the most unpredictable film, but it's a little bit different, and I like that. And if you get a chance to see it, I definitely recommend it. I think you'll really like this one.